I want to thank you for hosting this event, Senator Gallivan, and of course Senator Grisanti for being here, and for also the members of the public and other elected officials and leaders for coming here today and to truthfully talk about a very important issue for the future of this community. As Comptroller and now as County Executive, I've talked a lot about economic development and the challenges we face in Erie County, and it is the number one priority for my administration. I am going to get a bills lease done with our help from the friends from New York State. Thanks. But while we face a lot of challenges on the economic development system, unfortunately the chief one in Erie County is the current dysfunctional industrial development agency system. It ignores its own rules and appears to be more concerned with self-perpetuation than truthfully fostering real long-term economic growth. We have a system where instead of working to bring new businesses and jobs to Erie County, we are more often shifting existing ones around from one town to another, not making the pie any larger, just reslicing it in different ways. We're not working to create or retaining good-paying traditional manufacturing or the back office jobs that this area truthfully has been known for recently. We're talking about often low-wage or part-time retail jobs, pizzerias, liquor stores, donut shops, and car dealerships among those that are the most noted from the last few years alone. When these deals have happened, it's not just, as Assemblyman Ryan spoke earlier, the taxes and money of one community that's paying for it. It's every community in the county that's paying for the continuation of a dysfunctional system. Most of the deals that are being done, especially in some of the smaller industrial development agencies, but I will agree also often with Erie counties, are sales tax incentive deals. Money that is shared by Erie County with all the 44 municipalities that exist. When we talk about Erie County, we're not just talking about the cities, the towns, and the villages. Erie County shares school district money as well. So each of those 44 municipalities and every one of the school districts gets impacted when a deal is done that provides sales tax benefits to an entity. Let me give you an example of that. Or before that, I should say that this once again shows us that when a transaction is done, whether it's done by the ECIDA or by an independent individual IDA, one of the 5 other town organizations, the majority of Erie County residents are not seeing the benefits from that specific transaction, but they are paying for it. The one that everyone's talked about in the last few years is the Premier Liquor transaction, in which Premier Wine and Liquor moved from Tonawanda 3 miles down the road to the town of Amherst. I might add that while the countywide Industrial Development Agency Uniform Tax Exemption Policy, agreed to by all the IDAs in 2001, required notice to be given to the current municipality to give them an opportunity to try to save that business in their town, no notice was given. The supervisor of the town of Tonawanda did not find about it until it was reported in the news. That's wrong. And according to Supervisor Weinstein of the town of Amherst, the IDA package included $246,000 in sales tax abatements. Based on the countywide sales tax sharing formula, only $3,089, or about 1% of that, came from the town of Amherst, while the remaining 99% of the sales tax breaks were paid for by the rest of the people of Erie County, cities, towns, villages, and school districts, including $1,500 from the town of Tonawanda itself, where the business was poached from. I'm not criticizing Supervisor Weinstein for noting that. That is the current system, and he was noting under the current system it makes sense for the town IDAs to do these deals because the local municipalities are not paying for it. Now, I think we could stand here all day and talk about good deals and bad deals with regards to each one of the IDAs, including in the past the Erie County Industrial Development Agency. But that would be diverting ourselves from the true larger issues at hand. The central questions are, what projects or type of projects should receive IDA support? Who should pay for them? And lastly, who makes the decisions of whether to grant those inducements? Right now, the answer is the town-level IDAs themselves, who have very little accountability to the taxpayers of their community, the communities that they're giving money away from. Not long ago, a member of the Lancaster IDA board was quoted as saying, "We are a rubber stamp organization. We're not a judge and jury." And truthfully, why should they scrutinize these deals when they have almost nothing to lose from them? It's not their money they're handing. And it's not their concern when a deal has a negative impact on a neighboring town. It is clear that the solution is to inject accountability into the system, and change a name or two of a given town IDA is not necessarily going to be just the goal that we need to do. I know that there is a right system out there, and that's exactly the proposal that Assemblyman Sean Ryan has before the New York State Assembly at this point. We believe that counties that are paying for tax breaks should have a say in what projects get them, and that's what the introduced legislation does. This legislation essentially requires a town-level IDA to get permission before handing out other communities' tax dollars, while still allowing them to complete as many deals as they want if they're giving out their own tax dollars. If the town of Amherst, or the town of Clarence, Hamburg, Lancaster, or Concord, which are the 5 town IDAs, elects to do as many projects as they want, abating it through the use of their own town tax dollars, I don't have a problem with that. But I do have an issue when a town gives out the vast majority of tax dollars that are truthfully for the rest of this community. There's one thing we know, with school district costs rising, and property taxes under a tax cap right now making it very difficult for school districts to meet their budgets. The last thing school districts need are additional revenue being taken away from them by people who don't even live in that community. A lot of people have come out and offered resistance to the proposal of Assemblyman Ryan. Generally, it's from those that have towns in the IDAs, and I understand that. However, despite much of what has been said about the positions over the several past few months, I am not in favor of consolidating the IDAs into one. We have 6 industrial development agencies. I will note for the record that the County of Monroe has 2, which is the Monroe County IDA, as well as the Village of Fairport. And also for the record, New York City only has 1. We have 6. I'm not calling for the consolidation down to 1. I don't think that would be in the best interest of the long-term economic development of this community. I believe that the town IDAs do have an important role to play in the economic development of the region. But we need better policies guiding those decisions than the ones that currently exist. And in the end, everyone has to agree to the rules and follow them, which has not always happened in the past. Ultimately, I'm interested in working cooperatively with the local governments to ensure that good projects that are truly beneficial for all of Erie County and Western New York are supported, and that precious governmental resources are protected and concentrated where the most benefit can be attained. And as such, I will continue to work in my capacity as both a member of the Erie County Industrial Development Agency as well as this county's executive, with anyone who's willing to do so, to create a fair system that creates real good-paying jobs for the future of this community and that benefits everyone of Erie County. I thank you for your time and I'm glad to answer any questions you have.